Good evening everyone. If you don't know, you should know. My name is Rameez and I am a filmmaker and a film critic, and it's time to review Jason Bourne, one of my most anticipated films of this year. Let's talk about this film.
You're never gonna find any peace. Not till you admit to yourself who you really are.
The biggest problem with this movie is that it is made for no reason. Jason Bourne's reason and motivation to come back is also absurd as well. He comes back into the forefront because apparently his dad was involved in Treadstone, which is so absurd. Like Star Wars The Force Awakens, this film is aware that it is a franchise. This film is aware of the pre-existing stuff that happens, and this film is aware of how cool the Bourne movies are and how the Bourne movies are made, so they do very little to change up the plot, to add anything new, to add any new characters. It's all the same stuff you've seen in the Bourne Ultimatum and Bourne Supremacy. But see, here's where the kicker comes in. This is a good film. It's just not a good Jason Bourne film. This is the opposite of what the movie Spectre was. James Bond Spectre was a good James Bond film. It was not a good film, however. I mean, let's just talk about the CIA here and their logical thinking here, alright? Treadstone failed. Blackbriar was outed, Outcome was shut down. What do the CIA do? In their infinite wisdom, they start another program called Iron Hand? I mean, how stupid are the CIA? Don't answer that. Speaking of the CIA, the two head honchos this time are Tommy Lee Jones' director of CIA named Dewey and Alicia Vikander as Agent Heather Lee. Tommy Lee Jones is friggin' perfect in this film. It's a mixture of his two roles from The Fugitive and Captain America 1. This is an awesome performance by him, and it's kind of fun to see the CIA have a charismatic leader. Alicia Vikander, on the other hand, ouch. Let's compare her, or let's put her, shall I say, in a sandwich. A turkey sandwich. I love turkey sandwiches. Look at this picture. You have the turkey, you have the crispy vegetables, you have the sauces, it's all tasty. Where is Alicia Vikander in this equation of the turkey sandwich? She is the bread, and boy is that bread so dry and crusty. She has nothing. She has no charm, no charisma. She has no free will of her own. There's no reason she does anything. She does stuff because a computer tells her to do stuff. It's almost like she was supposed to be in a corporate boardroom meeting at Apple and somehow walked on the set of Jason Bourne, and Paul Greengrass said, "You're pretty. Come and act for me." The Bourne franchise is over to me, man, and when it comes to art and commentary, the first 3 films were made to fulfill an arc. Now it's become a franchise, which is specifically what the first 3 films didn't do. This is just pandering. The first 3 films had a bunch of unknown actors and unmarketable people to ground the film setting. This time around they got Alicia Vikander, they got Vincent Cassel, and while Vincent Cassel might not be super popular, he is well known. And Cassel does nothing new either. He's just playing a knockoff of Desh from the Bourne Ultimatum. He just gets to talk a bit more. I bet you in the next film the same exact thing happens. A new CIA director comes out of the blue and he wants to get Jason Bourne in for some reason, and it's nothing new. We've seen this in the Bourne Ultimatum. We've seen this in the Bourne Supremacy. It took them 9 years to do this. However, as I said before, there is some good in this. The good of all the Jason Bourne films to me has always been the political commentary it has been pushing or commentating about. This is a more political film, which does kill the subtlety of its message, but the message, thankfully, is pretty powerful. The male characters of Jason Bourne, Tommy Lee Jones as Robert Dewey are all very well written, but it's Dewey's Donald Trump-like, mesmerizing and mind-controlling-like performance which sticks out in this film. He steals the show. He repeats words, really simple words average people know of, such as safety and country, to make you feel guilty, as if you are the one who is wronging America. His secondary struggle is with a CEO of a company called Deep Dream in a subplot that really mirrors the recent iPhone cracking into fiasco. And the way he manipulates the guy into feeling that he's the one causing all the damage, he is responsible for making America not great again, is pretty amazing. The dialogue given to him is great, but Tommy Lee Jones' acting sells it so well. And there's more CIA shenanigans going on, and by shenanigans I mean illegal stuff. The first thing Alicia Vikander does in the movie is run a predictive program to show her all the threats in a given area, very similar to Captain America the Winter Soldier. They mention Edward Snowden quite a bit. They gain access to a whole computer just from a cell phone which is in the room. So this film is pretty cool technologically as well, like the previous films. And there's more good in this film. The action and cinematography movie is friggin' fantastic, especially the final car chase, which does not belong in a Jason Bourne film, but it was kinda cool seeing this balls out bravado, which belonged in a movie such as Speed or Predator. I felt like I was watching a different movie near the end. And the cinematographer of this film, Barry Ackroyd, who shot Captain Phillips and United 93, I believe, 2 other Paul Greengrass films, does a marvelous job this time around. Not only with his compositions, but with the colors of the film as well. In the beginning of the film, Jason Bourne is in Greece. There's this air of brown, and then at night it looks orange. When we go to Berlin, it's all sterile and blue. And then in the finale, which takes place in Las Vegas, it's a hodgepodge of lots of blacks and yellows. Overall, this film looks like it's a globe-trotting film, and it feels like a globe-trotting film because every country they go to looks different. Watch a film like The Avengers. Every country they went to looked the same when it comes to color palette. Overall, you will enjoy this film as a straight-up action film, as it delivers in the action department, and if you haven't seen the first 3 Bourne films, this film does a marvelous job at filling you in on what happened in the previous film. However, it does lack what makes Jason Bourne Jason friggin' Bourne. Cast is dumber, the characters are dumber, I mean, there's less realism, there are way many more flashbacks in this film. The film doesn't begin and end in the water, which is a trademark of every Bourne story, in the movies at least, and thank God we got a new version of Moby's Extreme Ways, and by the way, that version is lit. I barely use that word, but that version is amazing. So overall, as an action movie, this film gets a 3.5 out of 5. But as a Bourne film, I would give this a much lower score. Thank you for watching so much, people. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit that free subscribe button. Until next time, remember to love yourselves.